Hey guys, welcome back to Camera Coffee Chat. And before we jump to today's episode, which I think is super cool, I want to give you a quick intro. Camera Coffee Chat, it's my personal project, which is a quick pause in the day to celebrate the small things that make us more human, like joy, like kindness, like connection. This episode, it's a little different because it's the first one that I produce it solo, and I think it's likely a different vibe. I hope you like it. But there is one thing that didn't change. Chat, it's completely unscripted. And in the end, we always have a portrait session with the guest. So, take a break, grab yourself a cup of coffee or tea, enjoy the conversation and get inspired by my guest. Oh, and if you don't have follow, like, or subscribe, please do it. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy it. But do you think it's important to show your vulnerability? It's a strategy to grow as a person.
I feel that it is, and that's helped me, but not everyone's capable of doing that because, I've always been sort of this open book where I feel like if it helps somebody else, I have no issues telling my story and sharing my story without shame or fear or anything else. Whereas other people, they aren't so open. And they know their traumas, but they'd rather keep it more sheltered until or if they're ready to share with maybe certain people, which is okay too. Everyone's got their own path to how they do resolve some of these issues or traumas or whatever it is. There's no right or wrong, I guess. But in terms of what we were speaking about earlier with, the CBT as well, they do tend to guide you to delve deep and reflect on what those possible, traumas or issues might have been, which then not part of it, but I feel as though another phase or aspect of it is, giving forgiveness to those that might have hurt you or harmed you. And if that's the case, then you are being vulnerable to accept that this was your fate and this is what it is. And now you're going back to resolve or, whether you forgive somebody in your head, whether you actually connect with them to forgive them or, to say, this happened and I forgive you. I guess forgiveness is also one of those things that part of the journey. I feel like from my understanding, it is part of it. The more you're able to be vulnerable to whatever it is that's, put you in this situation or made you feel a certain way, I think it helps you let go so you can move forward, if that makes sense.
I love what you said about forgiveness. My question is, do you think that we should start being kind with ourselves first? Forgiving ourselves, and how hard this is it?
I think that's like a key phrase that I keep hearing, be kind to yourself, because if you think, somebody put it this way, we are the hardest on ourselves, but if you were talking to your 5-year-old self, would you be saying the things that you say to yourself as an adult? Would you be speaking to them in that same way? You would never. Because you think about anybody at that age and, when you think about yourself as a child and how you want to be spoken to, how are we so hard and so critical of ourselves, but yet we would never do that to the 5-year-old version of ourselves, or to anybody for that matter. But we do it to ourselves. So I think we should start with being kind to ourselves, easy on ourselves, some of the mistakes that we make in life, or things that have happened to us, we didn't choose them, but also the people who did that to us, they didn't, when they were little and things happened to them, they weren't just born to say, you know what, I'm going to make somebody's life miserable. You know, it's their traumas that have indirectly created who they've become. Whether I'm right or wrong, I don't know. I feel like it's cyclical.
Yeah, and in one way or another, when these things resonates with you, we are the ones. If we have the awareness, we have this understanding, it's on us to break the cycle.
Absolutely. And I always say, you know, I tell my parents all the time, because that's the other thing is they're of a generation where, you know, they just kind of take things and deal with them and put up with them. But as children, what we hear, what we see, what we think is okay, we just pass it on, and it just does become this cycle of, you know, whether it's right or wrong, it's all we know. And you know, there's this, I keep hearing it everywhere where they say hurt people, you know. It's the people who are hurt that end up hurting others, unless you can break that cycle, deal with those traumas and whatever has happened to you, so that way you're not passing it on to the next generation, and you're showing them, you know, a different way, a different path, you know.
It's funny because, so let's come back to forgiveness. So you told about forgive people. We talk about forgive ourselves. And to close this cycle, I think we should ask forgiveness, because we don't know everything, right?
Absolutely.
This is what you are saying now. So we can make those mistakes just by learning or a kind of mimic.
Yeah.
The person that it's on our circle, and we have to recognize that we also gonna make mistakes through life. Absolutely. And to close this cycle, so you have to forgive the other, you have to forgive yourself, and you have to ask forgive. Does it make sense?
Yeah, no, for sure. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you know, if you think you're perfect, I think that could be the first problem, you know, because there's no, we're continuously evolving, we're continuously learning to be the best version of ourselves, whatever that is. It could take a lifetime. And even then, you're still, you know, like
a work in progress.
Absolutely.
Always, right?
Like, you know, sometimes people, especially maybe my children, they think, oh, you know, you're the mom, so you think you know everything. Absolutely not. I learn from them. And when, you know, they call me out on something, I will acknowledge it and say, you know what, they're right. And I still have things to learn from even, you know, these kids, or they're not kids, but you know what I mean? These young adults.
Yeah.
I call them adult children. So by definition, they're adults.
We all
are,
right?
Children.
I think we all have this. If we don't have our child inside, I don't think we are going to be able to do all these things, right?
Yeah.
We need to bring this child, we need to play around, we need to... My question, so just for us to close the Camera Coffee Chat, it's about this space where you can find something that it's meaningful for you, that's going to ground you, that's going to bring you joy. Of course, I'm gonna guess that painting is one of them.
Yes.
Anything else you can do in your day by day?
So I think for myself, it's these little simple pleasures that, you know, define happiness for me. It's in these small moments, really little things. You know, it could be when I wake up, the sunrise, and I see the colors of the sun rising. It could be that first, you know, sip of my espresso, which I look forward to. I actually I have lemon water and Himalayan salt every morning. That's like the first thing I drink, but I'm just finishing it so I can get to my coffee. So, or espresso. So that's another little thing. Painting, obviously, for me is very therapeutic. I love telling other people's stories because I feel like everybody's got a story to tell. And these stories, anyone and everyone can connect with them because it's life,
It's universal, right?
It is universal. But there is one other thing that has become my happy place, which is...
Thank you.
Thank
Lovely,
you.
lovely.
A lot of
Everything.
fun.
So, yeah.
Thank you so much.
And now I want to invite you for some shots, some portraits, just for us to keep this moment forever.
Perfect. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool.
I rambled a bit. I told you. I go off topic a lot.
But it's perfect. So I think the flow was so good because I think we